5 million companies worldwide would be negatively affected by the coronavirus outbreak. Kazakhstan's measures to reduce the damage to local entrepreneurs are in our news program. Nauryz holidays are proposed to be celebrated starting March 14. The country will celebrate the vernal equinox this year on a big scale. A Dark Man by Kazakh film director Adilkhan Yerzhanov was awarded a prestigious award in France. The coronavirus outbreak and subsequent shutdown of factories and stores in regions affected by the epidemic could impact more than 5 million companies worldwide. This has been concluded by analysts of Dun & Bradstreet research firm. The analysts opined that wholesale, manufacturing, service sector, as well as retail and financial services will suffer the most. These areas are accounted for nearly 80% of all companies in the provinces affected by the virus. In particular, German business people are already suffering the impact of the epidemic. Many of them had to close their factories and offices in China. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Berlin forecasted that many companies that have operations in China will end the quarter with losses. We are seriously concerned about coronavirus out of all the other risks at the moment. If the infection is not controlled, the real sector of economy will be reduced. Meanwhile, the government of Kazakhstan is trying to minimize the negative impact of coronavirus on entrepreneurs. Freight service with China continues. In this regard, the country is taking measures to prevent the deadly infection, particularly in ensuring the successful prevention of infection of train drivers and other employees.
Граждане на сопредельной стороне, это в пунктах пропуска на китайской границе, на станциях и
Our citizens are located at checkpoints on the Chinese border, and Chinese specialists reside here at our station. This reaches 3 to 4 kilometers, where our citizens enter for cargo clearance. Specifically, railway station employees provide cargo clearance at the stations at the Chinese side, while Chinese specialists do the same at our stations. We also developed algorithms limiting their movement. The traffic police are observing the restrictions.
Тоже за этим наблюдают уже органы транспортной полиции.
Preventive measures were also taken at the Bakhti and Maykapchagai border customs posts in the East Kazakhstan region. The movement of transport and passengers was restricted in the areas. Product labeling will be introduced in a pilot mode in Kazakhstan this year. This has been announced by Departmental Director of the Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture, Bernard Alpisbekov, at a meeting in the capital. Currently, there are no specific labels for goods in the country. Member countries of the Eurasian Economic Union support the expansion of the list of labeled goods and urge to quickly introduce it into practice. This is due to the agreement on product labeling that was signed with the EAEU in 2018. Experts said that labeling the local products is a great step to safety and digitalization. Special attention is paid to members of the foreign trade activities. First of all, we will be working with them. Then, other companies can also take part if they want to. Unfortunately, our entrepreneurs only care about costs. But product labeling is a beneficial project for marketing. Thus, the manufacturers can see in which territory and in what packaging their goods are located in Kazakhstan. Information about the amount, return and expiration period of the products are available. This is a great thing in terms of marketing.
Это вообще очень шикарная вещь получается.
The Astana International Financial Center continues to take an active part in promoting sustainable economic development of Kazakhstan. Last year, more than $165 million was raised through its platform. Meanwhile, according to experts, the funds raised were used mainly for the country's infrastructure projects, financial industry, and banking. According to analysts, such results were achieved due to the special legal system of the financial center acting on the principles of English law and the creation of an independent regulatory environment based on international best practices. Today, more than 380 companies from 36 countries, including Russia, China, USA, UK, and India, are registered at the AIFC site.
Есть ряд крупных международных игроков, которые рассматривают Казахстан в качестве такого региона, для инвестирования. Есть уже крупные игроки, которые зашли.
There are a number of large international players who consider Kazakhstan as a region for investment. There are large players who have joined, including the large investment banks from China and other countries from the West. Until the end of 2020, we plan to attract nearly 500 participants. Now we are focusing on financial institutions and consulting companies.
Планируем привлечь порядка 500 участников. Сейчас больше фокусируемся на финансовых организациях, на консалтинговых компаниях.
The center provides the opportunity for those companies to restructure their finance and to be able to take advantage of conducting their business and their commercial affairs under English common law. And to be able to take advantages of the tax breaks. Our particular business is a consulting business, and we aim to help potential participants and existing participants to be able to grow their business within the AIFC and across the region.
Space system of the Earth remote sensing is ready to solve sectoral problems of Kazakhstan this year. The number of tasks involves monitoring of border sections, analysis of arable and unused land, as well as surveillance of illegal logging, natural disaster forecasts, and assessment of forest steppe fires. Based on the space data, digital farmland vector cards were created last year. The area of digitalized lands amounted to more than 33 million hectares.
В первую очередь цифровизацию активное участие принимает наша космическая система.
First of all, our space system of the Earth remote sensing takes an active part in digital transformation. The system is consisted of 3 satellites. We solved 35 sectoral issues in 2019. First of all, the system is used for the monitoring of unused lands because the lands with cadastral value of nearly 145 billion tenge were returned to the land economy.
Экономику земли кадастр стоимостью около 145 миллиардов тенге.
Experts said that research on the disposal of domestic and industrial waste is also carried out annually using highly detailed satellite information obtained by space photographs.
Мы предоставляем не просто космические снимки.
We provide not only just space photographs but also process analysis. In terms of municipal solid waste, we found more than 9,000 of spontaneous dump by monitoring 17 cities. This allows the inspectors on site to quickly take measures.
Инспекторам на местах.
Cargoes from Kazakhstan will be transported through Irtysh River to China this year. The logistics are being determined by the Kazakh Ministry of Industry and Infrastructural Development. Experts at the ministry said that major repairs of shipping locks will begin this year. The main export cargo will be petroleum products, while China is expected to send a supply of consumer goods to Kazakhstan through the Irtysh River as well. Meanwhile, nearly 6 million tons of cargoes were transported through the seaports of Aktau and Kurik in 2019. The main export products were cereals and vehicles. The transit of goods is mainly transported to Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Mongolia. Turkmenistan aims to diversify its oil and gas industry. The country plans to take measures to improve the operation of the fuel and energy facility, increase the efficiency of oil and gas field development, and introduce the advanced experience and the latest technologies in all structural divisions of the industry. The country's leadership pays great attention to the construction of the Turkmenistan-Afghanistan-Pakistan-India gas pipeline. According to experts' estimates on natural gas reserves in the world, Turkmenistan is ranked 4th, and the country exports gas to China and Russia. Uzbekistan will exempt participants of special economic zones from paying customs duties. This will affect building materials, the imported technological equipment, analogs of products that Uzbekistan lacks, and imported raw materials as well as materials and components used for the manufacturing and sale of products for export. All these points are indicated in the new law, which will come into force in 3 months. The document also defines the procedure for creating the special economic zones as well as new requirements for investment projects. Kazakhstan imposed restrictions at the Kordai checkpoint on the border with Kyrgyzstan. According to the State Revenue Committee, the work will be suspended in connection with the reconstruction of the checkpoint. It is reported that only citizens of the two countries with hand luggage and at a strictly defined time can cross the border. Experts said that after the repair, the inflow and outflow of traffic at the Kordai checkpoint will increase from 10,000 to 50,000 people per day. A discussion platform of citizens took place in the capital of Kazakhstan as part of modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. Nauryz Holiday, which encompasses the values of morality, friendship and tolerance, will be widely celebrated in a bigger way. The discussion participants agreed that the celebration should not be celebrated as usual, but more people should be informed about the event. They also said that celebrations should start from March 14th. Nauryz holidays should be prolonged and off days should be considered. Based on these suggestions, we should start Nauryz celebrations from March 14th and continue further until March 22nd. We also propose to introduce marketing events such as Nauryz Prize and Nauryz Fashion. We want to revive the traditions. We plan to dedicate each of the holiday as a unique and memorable event. 10-day cultural and educational events dedicated to the 175th birth anniversary of Abai Kunanbaiuly are held in the schools of Kyzylorda city. A session of Abai readings is organized among children of different nationalities. 12-year-old Aishani Dattatreya took part in the contest. The girl said that she fell in love with the prose of Abai after listening to the song "In the Night Without the Wind, the Moon is Bright."
Көп адам дүниеге бой алдырған. Бой алдырып, аяғын көп шалдырған. Өлді деуге сияма, айтыңдаршы. Өлмей тұғын артына сөз қалдырған.
Apart from Aishani, children of other nationalities who are studying in the school in the city also took an active part in the Abai readings session. The students also read Abai's words of edification.
Негізгі талаптың бірі байқаудың ережесіне сәйкес.
According to the rules of the competition, one of the main conditions is that students must be fluent in Kazakh language. Secondly, the poem must be read by heart and with expression. The third requirement is not only intonation and expressiveness, but also the accurate transmission of thoughts and emotions of Abai.
Ойлап, Абайдың өлеңдерін терең түсіне білу керек.
I am very glad that such a large-scale event is taking place because here you can show the level of knowledge of the state language. Kazakh is my native language. According to organizers, such educational events held in various formats will be organized throughout the year. The goal is to use the wise heritage of the great Abai as a guide in upbringing and education of the younger generation. The Kazakhstani film A Dark, Dark Man won the prize of the Syndicate of Cinematographers at a festival in French Vesoul. The movie, produced by Adilkhan Yerjanov, was praised by critics for reflecting the current problems of society. This was really good. I'm impressed. The film is very good. There are a few dialogues that are interesting. The drama film of Adilkhan Yerjanov is his second film to be released. A year ago, his movie, The Gentle Indifference of the World, was well received by the audience. The director of the company who organized the film screening regrets that the number of people who goes to the cinema are decreasing every year. But this only motivates the producers to create better movies. I think we should work even harder. Every year it is getting harder. When we have authors like Adilkhan, we are extremely proud to support them. To be honest, our motivation is not purely monetary. It is a way of life as well. What we want to protect is our artistic choice. Daniyar Alshinov and Dinara Bakhtibayeva, who starred in the film, have been awarded several prizes in various prestigious competitions. In May, the film will be released in French cinemas.